So this has been a long time in the planning, and it really is an issue of, a bit of a succession plan around the fact that, at the end of the day, I'm an entrepreneur. I've started numerous companies. I've been a CEO of asset management companies for 18 years. It's a lifetime. And, I always recognized what my skill set is and what I'm passionate about, which is strategy, which is innovation, which is disruption. And what I absolutely hate, which is sitting in boardrooms and being ground down by, kind of day-to-day operational management of a business. And, Signia has now become a middle to large-sized financial services group, which requires rigorous professional executive management. And I knew that I was never going to be that person. That I want to dream, I want to innovate, I want to come up with crazy ideas, I want to research. And that is, so I put in a succession plan, back in 2018 with making David Houghton my deputy CEO, grooming him into the position, co-CEO last year. And this is just formalization of the new structure. I've basically transitioned into a new role at Signia.
Now, you do retain majority shareholding alongside your associates. How involved are you going to be in the strategic direction of Signia going forward?
Very actively. So my associates being my husband. So we completely retain the majority shareholding in Signia. Absolutely no intention of selling, a single share, simply because, I do believe that Signia's journey has just begun. So my main role at Signia will be to drive the strategy of the business, to continue coming up with innovative ideas. I want to spend a bit of time next year in Silicon Valley, a bit of time in New York, to pick up on the new trends. We've just repositioned Signia, just in terms of the products we've been running, and formalized our investment process, calling it thematic investing, on the back of, this Signia Fourth Industrial Revolution Global Equity Fund, which has been, huge success, but, and 5 years in the making. But the fund has exposed me to so much in terms of global innovation and disruption that, I firmly have come to believe that the world of investing going forward will not be the same as what we have seen for the past 30 years. And, so I want to be at the forefront of that innovation and bring it back to Signia, look for opportunities for Signia, but without having to feel that I have to be in office.
Well, all I can say is watch this space, because I'm sure you'll continue trailblazing on that innovation front. Just before we go, it would be remiss if I didn't get the latest from you on the AstraZeneca vaccine and your perspective.
So my perspective of AstraZeneca vaccine is that what is unfortunate is that it got caught up in the politics of European Union and the fact that their procurement of the vaccine process has been only maybe marginally better than what South Africa has done. And, AstraZeneca, because it is manufactured, there are some manufacturing plants in Europe, kind of got caught up in the storm, because first the politicians in Europe came out with, just because they haven't procured sufficient number of vaccines and they are facing the third wave, and quite a serious one. So first, as part of, and I do believe that a lot of what's happening on the vaccine front is propaganda. They first came out with the messaging that, AstraZeneca vaccine is not that effective. Within 2 days, they withdrew that and said it is effective, and they are going to block all exports of AstraZeneca vaccine from European Union to the UK, and, first vaccinate their own population. The true clinical trials of AstraZeneca vaccine, which has just been released from the US, so it's completely independent of any clinical trials run in the UK, have actually confirmed that the AstraZeneca vaccine has a very, very high level of efficacy, particularly 100% in terms of prevention of serious COVID-19 and hospitalizations. Actually, the percentages for Astra in that space, in the serious space, have come out higher than for Pfizer and Moderna. And, we're now in a space where European Union is effectively attempting to block exports and override contractual agreements, because, countries like UK and US had the foresight. I mean, look, they had the IP and they had, so it was a little bit easier to have the foresight, but they had the foresight to pre-order. They had the foresight to also fund research and development of these vaccines. So of course they get the forefront of procurement and access to vaccines. Everybody else is tail end. And unfortunately, we are facing, massive global shortage as far as manufacturing capabilities are concerned. And AstraZeneca has genuinely, completely unfairly kind of got caught up in that, European Union political issue. But, where we are now is that they are blocking exports of AstraZeneca. So well, clearly they want it.
For putting the facts on the table there, but I mean, the outlook from your perspective on the AstraZeneca vaccine once this furore has passed?
I think it's one of the main vaccines that's out there. It's not as if we have a wide range of these COVID-19 vaccines, and perhaps there will be more that come to the front. As it stands at the moment, and this is a word of warning, AstraZeneca has been marketed as the lowest cost vaccine, so highly effective, lowest cost vaccine. It's not going to stay the lowest cost vaccine forever. And in fact, I read an interview with the CEO of AstraZeneca saying that given how much flack he has taken, despite the fact that AstraZeneca is the only company that has said, because of the association with Oxford University, that they will not make a profit out of this vaccine until the pandemic is over. And instead of actually being applauded for that, somehow they got caught up in, various political controversies. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see the AstraZeneca vaccine price go up, which is not good news for South Africa, because I think for South Africa, AstraZeneca, or at least the Oxford scientists, have already changed the formula of the vaccine to capture the South African strain. They were talking about moving to the manufacturing phase by autumn, so around September. And, I think that AstraZeneca vaccine is in effect, the future AstraZeneca vaccine is the best option for South Africa. So really it wouldn't be good news if they start increasing prices because they feel unappreciated.